the president in itself statement that Twitter deemed was contrary to the terms and policy. So the best thing, like you said, was to close that account.
But
hold on.
But several members of government had also told us that in reaching the conclusion that the government had to sanction Twitter, they had to take a lot of things into consideration, and it's been going on for months. And so when they had looked at all what Twitter had done for months, this sanctioning of the president was like the climax, and it gave them the opportunity to move on Twitter. Don't you think it is right for the president?
It was very wrong, very, very wrong. I totally disagree with the president banning Twitter. I totally don't agree with it. There were no records that there was a mass scale closure of users of Twitter's account. There wasn't anything like that. The president and his information minister has said that the reason why they closed Twitter was because Twitter banned a whole almighty God president of Nigeria. That was the reason, and that was all. And Twitter had a reason why that account was closed. Period. The account was closed because you use statements that the population of the masses. I saw that statement as inflammatory. Twitter saw that statement as inflammatory. You understand me? So people read people had meaning to the sentence in different way. So if Twitter decided to interpret the statement as inflammatory, fine, and they decided to close the account. But in conclusion, however, let me quickly say this: Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube are the only windows that ensures economic light, social light, political light, and every other light come into the country. We have shut one window down, Twitter. Now Mr. Ijele is moving to shut another window down, Facebook. And then because the function of Twitter and Facebook may be similar, but they are relatively different. The function of YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook are all different. YouTube is a video platform. Facebook is an all-encompassing platform. Twitter is a short messaging platform for businesses and all. You know what I'm saying? Now, if we begin to give room such that all these social media handles have been... Hold on. Please, let me drop that point.
Mr. Magnus, I'll call you Mr. Ewan.
I'm about to just calm down, please. I stood for minutes waiting for you guys to round up. Now, if we begin to encourage our social media handles to be taken out just because of very personal issues like this, at the end of the day, we do not have social media platform. And judging by the way the current government of the day is trying to gag everybody's mouth, we have our local electronic medium, which is so partisan and biased. We have our print medium, which is also partisan and biased. If you now close these social media platforms where the ordinary man can just buy 200 naira data and pass his dissent or pleasure or support for the government, what is now left for the right of the masses to dissent or to argue or to protest in the event that the Nigerian government is unjustly representing Nigeria? We will not have any platform to tell the world what is happening in Nigeria. So what we are gradually doing, consciously or unconsciously, is gradually locking ourselves inside, such as North Korea, where people have to sneak in happenings in the state outside. And if you are caught, you can be killed. So I do not support the fact that we are shutting down. You know that any platform now you raise cannot compete with Facebook. Any local platform. There are other Parler tried to come up, but it didn't last because it couldn't This is a giant platform. It would take a miracle app or a miracle platform from Nigeria to compete 30% with them. So I do not support that. Nigeria should be caged in and we shut out all the windows that refuses light to come into the country by blocking all the social media platforms. That's my submission.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Ewan, please, could you ask your question, please?
Thank you. I have one question for Mr. Ijele and one for Mr. Oraka. To Mr. Ijele, let me quickly do this.
Let's take Mr. Magnus first.
Okay. To Mr. Magnus, I want to ask this simple question, and I want you to be sincere about it.
Okay.
Because of this nature of situation where someone like Mr. Ijele is calling for the ban of Facebook in Nigeria. Now, assuming you are in the position of Mr. Ijele, having felt disappointed for being censored, how would you have handled the situation?
Well, I don't know. Have you been listening to the program from the beginning? Have you been connected to the program from the beginning?
Yes, in your own way. How?
Okay, no. Okay.
Your protest, because Mr. Ijele is protesting against the Facebook.
For me,
personally,
for me, I have suffered the same consequences that Ijele have suffered. I have been banned from Facebook. I have suffered a lot of abuses and insults on Facebook. My name and image has been maligned. Say I'm begging money. I'm a pauper. I am this. I've been threatened severally that I'm going to be killed. My family is going to be killed. There is no type of threats that have not been issued to me. No type of misdemeanor that has not been meted on my person. But because I am a people's person, because I have a vision that encompasses or transcends my personal interest, I have to, before I take a reaction, yes, I have a personal decision, and I know that if Facebook is banned, it's going to stop the activities of these people spreading false information. There's a video I did that IPOB went and doctored it, and he suggested I was begging 2 million naira on Facebook. But because I have a larger mindset, because I am a very intelligent man, in fact, exceedingly intelligent, I have the capability of thinking that, well, Facebook does not only address political issues that involves, which is where I am in now. There are other platforms, business platform, economic platform, educational platform, marital platform, social platform, religious platform. There are many platforms that other people are using. And some of these users perhaps do not even interrelate with issues that borders on politics. So if I was in Ijele's shoes, what I would have been doing right now is to clamor for a way that Facebook can be regulated so that the likes of Ijele's rights cannot be trampled upon. But asking the country or the federal government to totally quash Facebook and not minding other legitimate Facebook users spells complete selfishness and personal ego coming into this thing. So I will rather suggest that we study how Facebook works with our country, works in our culture, works with the different psyche of the users of Facebook, such as the Igbos, the Yorubas, the Hausas, and other tribes in Nigeria, and see how we can moderate Facebook to operate in Nigeria in a way that carries everybody along. Not these instances whereby people get personal issue with Facebook. The president has a personal issue with Twitter, you ban Twitter, poof. The Ijele has a personal issue with Facebook, you ban Facebook, poof. Then Dele Bello, we have tomorrow we have issues with YouTube, you ban YouTube, poof. Do I have issues? What is wrong with it? It's not me. So if I were in Ijele's shoes and I'm wrong like this, sorry for Facebook wronging you. I stand on behalf of Facebook to apologize for anything that they've done to you. I have not been getting anything from Facebook, but I seriously think that just like people like us who are clamoring for restructuring of Nigeria.
Okay, I think we lost him there. Okay, Mr. Joe Wise, please, could you just ask your
challenges? These are hold on. These are identifiable problems. We should try and solve it. Facebook has posed a problem to us. We should try and solve it. We shouldn't ban it.
Okay, all right.
Thank you very much for explaining.
Question for Mr. Ijele, please.
Yeah, from Mr. Ijele, in the course of your conversation, you made mention, try to point out that the followers, or rather the supporters of IPOB working with Facebook are responsible for this. One cannot substantiate this evidence, but my question to you is that you as a person, like so many other people, haven't benefited so immensely from Facebook. For example, you have a lot of followers. Facebook, you have become popular. You are now in the shoes of the person of Mr. Oraka or every one of us, having benefited from Facebook. You now have someone also calling for the socks for which we are benefiting from. What will be your position and how are you going to handle the situation?
My brother, this thing I'm very sure we meet the argument from the very first statement from the other side. Listen, I never made a dime. My original page is 49,000 plus. I never monetized it for one day. The second one, ijele speaks, before it was unpublished, 18,000 plus. Due for monetization, I never monetized it one day. ijele speaks 3 had no prior strike, not one prior strike, but it was unpublished. I don't understand if you are getting where I'm coming from. This is, I didn't say IPOB people, no, I said moderators within Facebook of Igbo and Nigerian origin who are working with the politicians, the opposition side, are the ones doing this. Now, this is different from Facebook ban. If you did something or if you posted something, okay, let me teach. I'm not sure Magnus Oraka knows what shadow banning is. Look at what shadow banning is now. The shadow banning, you will not be given a strike. You will not be given a, please, I don't know if you know it yet, but let me explain. If you have not been given a strike on Facebook now, check your reach and the views. If you have 50,000 reach, at least that video should be between 23 and 25,000 views. But a situation whereby you have a reach of 32,000, but your video has 48,000 views. Many people don't understand that joke. They think it's a blessing. No, it is because the page has been shadow banned. So I am not making a case for censorship. I am making a case for censoring the censors. Because Facebook makes a lot of money. Can I finish? Facebook makes a lot of money from Nigeria. Then it is so bad that they will censor Nigerians for exercising their right to free speech. Okay, who decides what an inflammatory statement is? Buhari said he will speak to them in a language they understand. As an Igbo man, I'm not offended because the people he's talking to have buried a lot of people alive, which we know. Magnus will not deny that. If he doesn't know about it, he has heard it.
I'm aware it's true.
But Akwara is still missing. These people are slaughtering people, doing fake human sacrifice that does not work. Now, when the president said he will speak to them in a language they understand, and one other thing Mr. Magnus said, which is wrong, I don't buy it. He said he did it with a personal account. But then, when you go to Twitter, they will tell you, even if it's a personal account, they will give the person a blue check showing that they know the person and the office the person is holding. So that thing was not by mistake. And I can tell you, the owners of Twitter did not do that thing. Again, there are many information I won't release on air, not to avoid putting people's families in danger. I have like names of 2 people that did that thing. And I know the people that ordered them to do it. I wouldn't want to mention it, but as time goes on, you will understand why Jack Dorsey has to fly to Nigeria. So why I called for a ban on Facebook, of course, it's not going to be a permanent ban. When you ban Facebook, they will come back and then go look into their moderators and sanction those moderators that are doing it. How can you shadow ban someone, for goodness sake? And you are supporting a company that is shadow banning someone for saying the truth, exposing a terrorist organization, and you are making it as if the argument is about shutting down social media, not wanting people to make money. I am someone that advocates for economy every damn time. Go and check my political philosophy. It has not changed. I've been an advocate of solving issue of terrorism with employment. Because if people are employed, they wouldn't have time to be listening to all these idiots that are promising them heaven and earth. The ones that are sent by Elohim, Eloha, Elodem. No one would have been listening to them. But this is about you, people abusing the power of social media. Again, if a phone company cannot censor you because they don't like you, not that you violated any law, that is where my problem is. When you violate any of their community standards, then take it off, that's nice. But shadow banning a page, what did this page do to warrant being shadow banned? It's not fair. And you cannot be arguing for censoring someone who didn't do anything, and not just about me. So many Nigerians, so many pages. Okay, we are talking about people that will lose their money. What about those people that lost their pages? Some of them 100,000 followers, some of them more than that. What about those ones? Do you even care about them? Okay, imagine if I'm making money from Facebook. Now they shadow ban me, limit my videos from reaching to the people it's supposed to reach. Even people that turned off the notification bell don't get the notification when you go live. Okay, what about my own business? Have you seen that the standard is not the same? We don't have
Mr. Ijele, I would like to call your attention to the fact that
can we give closing statements now?
My brother, I think I will have to leave now because I need to set up that interview I have. Please.
No, Ijele, wait. Let's give closing statements and end this thing.
I'm starting now 50 o'clock.
Give your closing statement and leave.
Give us your closing statement. Just 10 seconds.
Okay, my closing statement is this. My calling for censorship is not to permanently ban Facebook. It's for them to maintain a standard. Have a standard. If you abuse anything, you violate their community standard, get a strike. But when you did not violate anything, why would your page be censored? This is trying to stifle someone's conversation. The social media is the modern day town square. How can you come to the town square? You already set up a rule. If you do this, you will be banned. Then someone did not do that thing. You still ban the person. Come on, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Ijele. God bless you. Mr. Magnus, please.
Okay. First and foremost, Facebook was not built or is not used by Nigeria and then suffer the consequences of issues that happened between ijele and IPOB. Facebook is not an exclusive concern of ijele's issues and IPOB. Facebook has far-reaching users that are not necessarily concerned with politics. So there are other decisions. And then I had a page. He was talking about. He had a page that is 49. He just reached 49 recently. When he was still struggling to make the numbers, I had a page. I had well over 45,000 followers. When I saw that people around there were toxic, I personally brought the page down. He knows it. He had advised me and even quoted me, why did I bring the page down? But I felt it was too toxic. I brought the page down. Now I've opened another page with just 4,000. And in this one, I can take out people who abuse me or insult me. I just take them, take them out because I know that these people who come there and are acting so toxic, they believe in an ideology. So I can only fight back by reorienting them rather than letting other people. I cannot translate my personal issues with Facebook to the sufferings of millions of other people who are using Facebook. That is just my quarter. And then, sorry, I also remembered again, whether you are censoring Facebook or banning Facebook, there are two different words saying the same thing. If ijele is not banning or censoring, or if ijele is not banning or censoring, then you should go to the court and repair the words that you are calling on the government to fix Facebook in such a way that it matches with our socio-cultural and political existence in Nigeria. But asking for the outright ban, which is what ijele has in court, is unacceptable and should be frowned at by every Nigerians who are using Facebook.
All right, thank you, Mr. Magnus. Mr. President, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Magnus. Thank you, Mr. Ijele. Already, you left already. Thank you, Mr. Joe White. I really appreciate you all. For my own opinion, if I have to say something, it is the responsibility of the Nigerian government to provide a conducive environment for Nigerians. In Facebook, in Twitter, and in Nigeria as a whole. In European countries, let me put it this way, they have a system that recognize hate speech. They have to force Facebook and the Twitter to recognize this. There's a law that is called bullying law. When you bully other people in Facebook, like what the IPOB and so many other people are doing in the social media, the government, they will go to Facebook and sanction Facebook. Facebook has to do something against it. They have to make sure all they are sending out there is real, not just false information. Because we know, or the Europeans or the other countries already know that there are people who use Facebook, Twitter to also incite violence in so many countries. When you look at Iraq during the Gulf War, you will understand what was going on. Twitter and the Facebook and other social media was used by the American government to make sure they come after the Iraqis. And in Syria, the same thing also happened. So every country, every government has the right to defend itself against social media and also to censor social media. But banning a social media organization, I don't think that one is necessary. So that's my opinion.
Mr. Elwin,
Yes.
please. Mr. Elwin, you have something to say?
Yes, to add to what Mr. President just said, I want to state that if we go around the balls pertaining to the issue at hand, at the end of it all, we still have the Nigerian government to blame because of the failure and inability to set the pace for a structural agenda that will organize the institution of Nigeria. Our government has sold out so many rights to institutions. By so doing, we now have institutions coming into Nigeria, controlling the system, whereas the government is supposed to be the one controlling the system for them, not them controlling the system for the government. There are no viable laws in Nigeria that regulate various institutions. We have in a country where a company, for example, will come and decide certain rules that we govern the system without the system setting rules to govern the companies. This has enabled so many institutions to have a larger power over Nigerians in general. And also about the propaganda going on in social media. We know journalism is another form of propaganda that are being used negatively against people. So social media has also become part of that means of propaganda today. Well, I know I will talk about sometimes the IPOB, the individuals. There are a lot of people who use social media to do negative things, but not until our government regulates, like what Mr. Ijele said, is no longer with us. Nigeria should have their own data system. If we have our own data system controlled by Nigeria, Nigeria will not wait for order from a foreign system to regulate our data system for us. It is because we are still dependent on these things. That is one of the reasons we lack the will to foster this. So the government in all of this have a role to play to ensure that the rights of Nigerians are met. I have also suffered in the hands of Facebook, but I have nothing to do because I felt I subjected myself to their terms and conditions. And I know I have not made any hate speech whatsoever that warranted that. But I also know, I noticed, like what Mr. Ijele is fighting against. There are a lot of people online working for Facebook, monitoring anything that does not agree with their view, whether it is hate speech or not, as far as they consider it to be hate on their part, because it's not in tandem with their perspective, they label it and you get sanctioned. I suffered and I have also protested in so many ways. So there are groups also deliberately set up on social media just to antagonize people. And those groups are not being brought down by Facebook. So I remember there's a particular group I belonged before. I openly wrote and accused the admin that how come the admin should allow certain things, and there are some things people post, they don't approve it. It means this group is being set up for such purpose. So that is the system of organized way of reducing people through propaganda, journalism. Now social media has become an easy access to practice of journalism. We now have a lot of people today, automatically they have become online journalists. And by so doing, they use it negatively against those they foresee to be their enemies. That is wrong. The Nigerian government have the power to regulate if they only when the will is there. The ban of Twitter is totally unacceptable because it is very clear that the ban was highly political. It is not as a result of the fact that the government is willing to regulate the system. No, it is political and it is known. Though they defend it, everybody will always defend their action. But I will stop at that because I know if we wish to go on and on, we may not have the whole time to spend because we have other things to attend to. So that is my take on that for now.
Okay, so thank you very much, everybody. I'll just round up by giving my position on the matter. Firstly, I think that there are laws in Nigeria with which the government can actually address some of these issues. I think if people are making excuses, the government doesn't have the manpower to be able to clamp down on people who abuse social media. It is simply because they don't understand the politics of centralization. You know, the reason why the government does not have the ability to handle a lot of the problems that has been some sort of security problems, whether it be murders, killings, assaults, or cyberbullying, is simply because the center has too many power. It's holding too many responsibilities, carrying too many responsibilities, and the center cannot just do this. So, for instance, Mr. Ijele says the government does not have the manpower to prosecute, to arrest, to clamp down on certain individuals. What the government should have actually done was to decentralize the policing, restructure Nigeria, and let every federating unit take charge of its own security. And it would have solved all these problems. You know, we should not also forget that some of the things that are done on social media are actually political, both in the from the opposition and from the ruling class. And we must, as Nigerians, not allow these political characters, you know, lead us into trouble. Because whether people are sponsoring IPOB or not, the responsibility of the Federal Republic, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, to safeguard the lives and properties of people. And how do you do this? All the places you have IPOB perpetrating crime, you have DPOs there. You have commissioner of police there. You should hold those people you should hold them responsible for the errors that go on in their states. When a DPO or a CP or a DIG is not doing his work, the president needs to kick him out and employ a capable person. Resource police, fund the police adequately. The police and the army, they are underfunded. That is the truth. That is why none of them will go out there to their life. When they die in service, their kids, their wives suffer. You see, these are the realities. And so we must also be able to tell the government the truth. And nothing but the truth. I think when we're able to do this, we'll be able to, we need to hold government responsible. We need to hold our political ruling class responsible. Because if you look at the things that have been going on, it is as our inability to hold government responsible. That is why we have too many chaos today. It is the inability of governments to do the right thing that has created IPOB, the ODUA, the so many groups. And I think it is high time we begin to ask the right questions rather than chasing shadows like the banning of social media platforms and all that. I want to thank you all for being a part of this conversation. Mr. President, I want to thank you for the opportunity. Mr. PRO, Mr. Magnus, thank you for your time. I say may God and our ancestors bless you all. And to everybody who is listening or watching us out there, the Benin Empire Advancement League is a sociocultural organization that is created for the Benin people, irrespective of where they are, to promote our culture, our history, and socioeconomic well-being of the Benin people. And so we would like you to be a part of our organization. We want to use this opportunity to invite you to be a part of our organization, irrespective of your ethnic group. As long as you are a descendant of the Benin Empire, you are welcome. Whether you are an Ewe, whether you are a Gandangbe or a Gan, whether you are a Benin man, Esan, Afemai, Akoko Edo, wherever, Ndoni, Ikweres, you are welcome to this organization. I want to ask that you, DM us or use our WhatsApp link on our Facebook page to join us and be a part of the good things that we are doing. We do not stand for the section of Nigeria. We believe in a strong Nigeria, an indivisible entity where all rights of all the citizens is guaranteed by law. That is what we believe in. We also believe in the kingship. We believe in the sovereignty of the Benin Empire. We believe in the crown. We believe in the Oba of Benin as the custodian of our culture and our tradition. And I want to say, if you believe in what if you share in our beliefs, just be a part of what we are doing, and let's join hands to move the Benin Kingdom and Nigeria and Togo and Benin Republic and Ghana. Let's join hands to move those countries forward to the best of humanity. Thank you very much for being a part of this broadcast. I want to say God bless you all, and may our ancestors be with you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you very
Vice
much,
President.
Mr. Vice President.
It's a pleasure. Yes, as our Vice President said, please join us and work with us to make sure we move the Benin Empire and the Nigeria and the West Africa as a whole forward. Because when one man is rich in the family is in poverty. So we need to upgrade the Benin Empire. We need to upgrade Nigeria and the West Africa and Africa as a whole to make sure every citizen of Africa is living free, and also his right or her right is respected. So that is my opinion. And please join us in the Benin Empire Advancement League and work with us. Use our WhatsApp link to join us, and we will be very happy to receive you and also to work with any Benin descendant. So thank you very much. So Mr. PRO also. So before we close.
Thank you, sir. We are grateful for all of you for listening and for being part of today's program.
Okay. Then next time will be very soon. So thank you all our viewers for watching, and may the Lord of our God and our ancestors guide and protect all of you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.